All right, so this chapter, which is chapter 6, is about individuals with intellectual disabilities. Um, and so this chapter actually has kind of some meaning to me because my fiance has an uncle with mental disabilities. So like I know a little bit about this, but not a ton about it. So it was good to read about it, and some stuff that I found was like people with it, they can live independently, they can live by themselves, which I think is really great because everybody wants to have that sense of freedom, and it's nice to know they can do it. I also didn't know that there were 4 different levels of like the IQ range for people who have intellectual disability, and so like the highest number is 70. It can get below 25, which is a big range for people. So like that's crazy to think about. Um, And then there's a couple different forms of support. There's natural support, which is just family, friends, teachers, and coworkers, which is what my fiance's uncle has. His family takes care of him. We take care of him. And then his coworkers, and they have him while he's at work. So like they all look over him, make sure he's all right. Then there's the formal support, which is government funded. He has been in that before, and apparently it wasn't that great, but I know that it's good for some people, and it works for some, and doesn't work for others. Um, there's different ways that they want, like with people, they want to normalize, which is to integrate them into society to the max, to as much as they can. And then there's deinstitutionalizing, which is relocating them because they can't handle the large institutions and moving them to a smaller area where they can thrive. Um, and then like there are three causes for intellectual disability, which I didn't know. I thought you were just kind of like when you were born, like you had it, and so like that's what the prenatal is. And then there's pre-ental, I believe that is how you say it, and that occurs around the time of birth. So I'm assuming that's like complications with the birth. Not really that positive. Probably was in there, but I might have skimmed over it. And there's postnatal, which occurs after the birth, and so like that's interesting to know that there's more than one way to have mental or intellectual disabilities. And then there's also technology, like there's different forms, like how they can use it and how they understand it. So there's 3 levels. There's the low level, which is pictures and symbols. Then there's mid tech, which is like audio recorders, like MP3 probably, and then high tech, which is the iPads, which is what her uncle, he can use just about anything. Uh, Sometimes he gets in trouble with it, but he can go and find just about anything. And after reading this whole chapter and going through the PowerPoints, um, and after reading about all the ways that can cause intellectual disability, my question is, what are some ways to prevent this? Like, obviously, prenatal, you can't really prevent that other than like maybe beforehand. So, like, how do I prevent that? How do I prevent it like during around the time of birth, and then after birth? What are good ways to prevent um, intellectual disabilities?